Oh man, that is good. It's not a Halloween episode, so you guys don't have to click off or say, God, it has something else to do with Halloween. Well, creepy stuff. Hold on. I have this pumpkin out because this episode takes place in the month of Halloween, which is October. This is season 1 still, episode 10, 8:59 on Friday, 4 February 2022, and the title of this story is going to be, what did I say it was? I actually wrote this one down. Gorilla Suit Experience, or the Gorilla Suit episode. It revolves around a gorilla suit. Oh, by the way, on my head, I see the Band-Aid. I was in the kitchen, where I'm at right now, the other day, and I decided to open a drawer and forget the drawer was open, go to the sink and then fumble something out of the sink. I got soapy suds all over myself, and I was like, oh, and I went to pick it up. I think it was like one of those plastic spaghetti spoons. I went to pick it up and I leaned over and I hit my head and cut my head on the edge of the drawer. So you can just imagine the profanity that came out of my mouth. Because you opened the drawer, went back to the sink, dropped something, and you didn't realize that drawer was open, and I cut my head as a result. And it has nothing to do with the story. But in this story, this is funny. This isn't like the other ones where I go back and forth. It's a straight story. I put a little write-up for it on IMDb. I think I already posted that, and then I'll put the link on there under the show later on. But as for right now, I said once again, I'm tired. It's Gorilla Suit Experience, and this is funny because here I am, I'm not 32 now. I was 32 years of age, and I'm sitting in a meeting, okay? Very professional meeting, or at least it should have been. There's like 40 of us in the room, and everyone's, paying attention to the speaker at my job that I had then, and everyone's paying attention to the speaker, and I'm drawing pictures of a scenario. I took like an 8x10 piece of paper, broke it up into sections, and I'm doing a rough draft cartoon of a plan of action that I was going to follow out that night. Now that night, this wasn't a Halloween night, it was just the month of October in 2006. October, November, December, a few months before Rocky Balboa came out in the theaters, which was technically Rocky 6 in December 2006. So here I am. I had already ordered the gorilla suit months ahead of time, and it came in a box like this deep and this size. I had been at the dentist office, and they had a bunch of stuff all over the little coffee table they had there. And I was like, oh, let me see what they got. Magazine, small pamphlet for ordering things. I was like, oh, what do they got in there? They had all kinds of stuff, chattering teeth, things that made horrible sounds. And then I saw a full-size gorilla suit with shipping and handling, $100. Had to have it. So I'd ordered it. It came fairly quickly. Had nothing to do with it. It had the hands, the feet, the head, the whole 9 yards. Put it in the top of the closet. And then I'm sitting in this meeting, and I know I used the name John in my last episode, but this guy I sat next to, his name was actually John. And John's over there taking copious notes in the meeting, and he looked at me and he's like, Jason, he goes, you're not paying attention at all, are you? And I was like, no. Because I was coming up with the cells for my plan for my festivity I was going to do that night. Now, what we were going to do, it was my idea. I had a friend. I got out of the meeting. I don't think I was texting much then in 2006. I can't remember. I remember I called him. And I said, tonight, I had him take one of my other friends out to dinner. And I said, I'll give you the money for it afterwards. Said, take him out to dinner, keep him occupied for like an hour. I'm going to call your cousin. Well, actually, I called the guy's cousin first to see if he'd want to be part of a Halloween prank. Okay, now I'm 32 years old here. I should have been more mature than this, but I just wasn't. I said, would you like to be part? I called up. His name was Jeff. I said, Jeff, you want to be part of a Halloween prank tonight? I have a gorilla suit that's rotting away in the top of my closet for like a month. Would you like to wear it tonight on a prank? And later on, I'll buy you a couple drinks. Sure. Easy sale. So then I called my other buddy, and I said, hey, the guy we're going to do the prank on, I said, take him out to dinner tonight. I'll pay you afterwards for the dinner. And then meet us in Situate. Situate's like a really wooded area in Rhode Island. So this is really, really funny. We had, I told him that part, and then while I had him on the phone, I said, hey, let's meet out there first so we can act all this out. So what the plan was, it was kind of brilliant, but it backfired us. I gotta be somewhere. Actually, it backfired on us in the same token. We went out to the wooded spot, and what was going to happen was I was going to have my friend in his truck with this guy drive down the road at night, maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Go down the road and then jerk his brake like this to pretend that the car stalled. Get out of the car, open the hood, and then the gorilla and the guy, Jeff in the gorilla suit, will come out of the woods and drag him away, leaving this guy scared. And I was in a full devil costume. I had like a collar and a very skin-tight devil mask. So we went out there without masks, without the gorilla suit, to act it all out. We found the part of the road that we wanted to use. It was a clearing where Jeff could have the gorilla suit on, and I could do a signal of breaking the stick, breaking a branch. That would be the signal, and Jeff would come out. So I had to train Jeff on walking like a gorilla and things like that. And the suit has pretty bad visibility. So we got all that planned out. Earlier on that night, I went out in the woods with Jeff. I think we were texting then actually, because he texted me to say they were on their way. So he texted me to let me know that they were on their way after dinner. They showed up there. I have Jeff, full gorilla suit, poor visibility, clear path to the road. Me, devil costume, great visibility, skin-tight mask. And the signal was them coming up the road. He shot me a text. You could see the headlights. There was no houses out there. They were way in the distance. He comes up the road, up the road, up the road, and then he stops and does the brake pump thing. Well, my truck, I drove a Cherokee at the time, I had it parked up the road on the opposite side, but slightly off the road. So if anyone's coming up the road, they're not going to hit it. And I put a big blanket over the headlights, or over where the headlights are, because the engine's off, lights are off, and it went up and a little over the windshield. So when he's coming up the road, the passenger that we were playing the prank on wouldn't say, hey, somebody's parked over there. You really couldn't see anything. It was just dark. So he did his thing with the brake, gets out of the car. He goes, he opens the hood, and his acting wasn't that great, but it was pretty funny for, first time doing anything like that. He opens the hood and he goes, damn it. He goes, I guess we broke down. It was so corny, but if it was on camera, it would have been hilarious. And I wasn't filming anything at that point. I think I had just started writing The Shadow Inside back then. So I had no filmed stuff or anything. So he does that. And Jeff in the gorilla suit, he's like looking at me in the woods. All it is like this massive, he's like about my height, but it was like he looked massive in the suit. I broke the stick and kind of gave him the line of sight, and he walked out like a gorilla out there and dragged my other friend whose truck broke down away. And the guy who's being dragged away is like, help, help, like screaming. But it's all dark out there. There's no lights, no street lights, no nothing. So the passenger guy, he was out of the car with him when he was looking under the hood. He went back in the car and shut the door. He left him. He didn't know what that creature was. He had no idea. So then I came out with, all creepy up to the window, and I was like reaching in like, come with me. And he was like, hey, what do you want? He was all panicking. And it didn't seem like he was acting. It seemed like he was actually genuinely scared. So I let it go for a couple seconds, and I took the mask off. And he's like, I knew it was you. And then they came back. We had, my friend is in the gorilla suit, and he had the head off at the time. And my other buddy, who he dragged away, came back, and we're all standing there joking. So, just a small Halloween thing. It was fun. We're all going out afterwards anyway, and this and that. So we see headlights coming up the road now. And I'm like, oh, crap. It's a cop. So headlights are coming up the road. My car, as I said, my Cherokee is off to the left with a blanket over the front. So I told Jeff, I unlocked my doors from a distance, like beep, beep. And I said, Jeff, go to the truck and just sit in the back seat, right? So in the headlights of the cop car, cop's coming up the road really slow, you can see the fur of the costume and the head under his arm while he's running toward the truck. And he did. He ran to the truck, he got in the back seat, shut the door, and just sat there. So, but even in the dark, once headlights hit him, you could see the fur of the suit. You could say a regular head and eyes forward, the shoulder fur of the suit. So I walk over to the truck because the headlights are still coming up the road. I go over to the truck, I wrap the blanket up really quick. Those two got back in their vehicle, the passenger and my friend who got drugged away by the gorilla. They closed the hood, get back, and they just drove all the way down the road to turn around and come back. Well, I'm over there at the Cherokee, folding the blanket up, and the cop was an older man. He literally looked like 60. But I don't know. He could have been like 58, 57, but with me being 32, I looked like I was 25. This guy looked a lot older at the time. So I'm folding my blanket up, and he shines the high beam or flashlight or whatever he had, and he goes, how you doing tonight? And I was like, I turned around, I said, oh, good, officer. I said, how are you? He goes, good, good. He goes, everything okay? He was trying to help me, And I said, no. I said, my truck broke down, and I was lucky enough. Two of my friends, they're coming up the road right now. They had come over, to face me. They jump-started me, drove up the road. They're turning around, and everything's fine. But thank you very much. So I'm trying to fold the blanket up because I was like, oh, geez, if this guy starts asking questions. And he goes, yeah, there was a disturbance out here. I guess there was a lot of yelling because with my friend being dragged away by the gorilla, he was like, help, help, and it echoed through the woods. There was no homes on that road, but there was homes in the distance, and they heard it because it was like, and they were yelling and then this and that, and I guess the hood slamming, and there was just a lot of antics that weren't needed in a quiet area like that. So the cop's shining his light. I don't know if it was the car light or the spotlight or whatever. And he goes, all right. He goes, everything's okay. That's good. And he goes, hey, who's the guy in the monkey suit? Because you could see the fur on Jeff's shoulders. He's still in the suit, but his head and eyes are looking forward. And I looked back and I looked at him. I said, that's nothing, officer. Well, just at that time, my friends had pulled up behind me now, because remember they had gone down the road, and they got out of the car and walked over. Now, this is nighttime. This guy's in the cruiser by himself. Like I said, he looked like an older police officer. I got a guy in a monkey suit in the back seat. I'm folding up this big blanket, and my other friend's pretty big. He's like a big guy, and my other buddy's tall. They're about the same height, like pretty close to 6 foot. They're both standing next to each other, and he asked me, he goes, what's your name? Like that, and he ran my name in the system. And at the time, I was living in an apartment back in 2006, so he said, he came up, Jason Tavares, 32 years old, and he said where I lived and this and that. And he just kind of like looked at us, and he didn't want problems, I guess, because we weren't really doing anything, and I didn't have criminal background. So he just looked at all of us, and he goes, get the hell out of here. So I was like, all right, officer. I said, thank you. And I didn't really have a lot to say after that. Like, he would like kind of just looking around. He looked nervous. Like, he saw these two walking up, gorilla suit, me kind of like sweaty looking because I had the rubber devil mask on before, but I think I was still wearing a cape. So I had like a thing, and he's like, just get the hell out of here. Just his facial expression was priceless. So we get out of there, we go back to my friend's house. Now we can't get the gorilla suit off of Jeff. The hands come off, the feet came off, but this wasn't the most expensive, high-quality outfit that I had, costume that he was wearing. He couldn't get it off. He's laying in the driveway, he's got the heads off, the hands off, and I'm pulling the pants trying to get him off of him. You couldn't even roll these things off. He's being drugged down the driveway. So that was a job in itself, and I never got to use the gorilla suit again because with it being such crappy material, once I finally got it off of him, loaded it back in the box and put it in the closet. I think I dug it out like 8 months later just to play with it. And rubber becomes porous, and it can kind of fuse together because you figure in the summer it's like 80, 90 degrees in Rhode Island or more, and I guess from the heat of a closet, even with the door open, it all got rubberized together. I couldn't even peel it apart. So it was $100 down the drain, but I had a fun time coming up with a plan at work when I should have been paying attention to the meeting. And, we executed it. Everything was good. We executed everything, but we didn't plan on police officer coming up the road. That could have gotten really bad. I mean, we could have, I don't know if that area was trespassing. We could have gotten that. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to get in trouble because, I was in the military and this and that. And here I am playing a practical joke on a road with a guy in a gorilla suit. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's not, stuff you should be doing at 32 years old. I should have been a little more mature than that. Not playing pranks on people and things, but, I was a prankster and I like to laugh. Nobody got hurt. We still laugh about it today. And this was season 1, episode 10 of Jason's Disturbing Experiences. Just something to make you laugh. It had nothing to do with Halloween. And the reason I'm doing another episode, Because if you guys recall, last month, I said I probably wasn't going to do anymore. I was going to do a different show. A lot of my friends and people that I know that watch this show, I guess they like it. And I decided to keep going with it. So I don't know how many more, but, people are having fun watching it and they enjoy it. Why not? It's not hurting anybody. So I'll see you guys again soon. It's February. We're already into February of 2022. It's nuts. But have a great week, and I'll come up with a new topic maybe in a couple months, maybe next month, when the mood strikes me. So take it easy. Talk to you soon.